Okay, yeah.
The smoke masks their alarm pheromone. So if you, like I got the fire lit over there, not for necessarily beekeeping, I knew you were coming over, but
Yeah.
you have smoke going. So bees communicate like many other insects, ants included, with pheromones, which are essentially odors, smells.
Okay.
And there's a pheromone that they put out called alarm pheromone. And that pheromone to me smells like bananas. I can smell it because I know when they get angry and start smelling bananas, that must be the alarm pheromone. What this does is it masks their ability to smell. So if one bee puts out an alarm pheromone and there's smoke in the air, the other bee won't smell it. So it takes away their ability of communicating, so that while you might have one angry bee, at least she's not telling 80,000 sisters they have a problem, because this masks her ability to communicate.
That's what it does.
That's what smoke does. It is not a, it's not a deterrent. It's not a bug spray.
Okay.
It masks the alarm pheromone. That's exactly what it does, and that's why we do it.
It blocks the signal.
It blocks your communication signal. Now, I wouldn't say it works flawlessly. I can still get bees angry, and they're still going to figure it out, but this helps calm the bees. So these are all production hives.
Okay.
Production hives meaning, typically in a beehive, you have a brood box in the bottom.
Yeah.
And then you have honey supers on the top. And this time of year when they're making honey, you continue to add layers of this based on the strength of the hive and how much honey they've made. So see, this one is a little weaker, and I'll show you by just taking off the lid. And here you can look through the screen, you can see there's actually not even any bees in this top box working on anything. Matter of fact, this hive may be very weak. That's what inspections are about. There's some bees in there, but you see, this hive is not looking good.
I always saw a major deterrent for me, but I figured something out. I saw 2 roaches come out
of that top lid.
Yeah,
that's where the bees
they're
can't
my
get to.
arch nemesis.
Okay, so I'm inspecting this hive and I'm just like, uh-oh. Since now looking out here, I didn't see anything drastically wrong. Obviously you can see this hive is weaker than these hives, right?
Yeah.
But something isn't right because they're not reproducing fast enough. So I need to essentially just look in here and see if I see evidence of a queen.
So should I do something right now? They're like trying to count?
Yeah, you can put your hood on if you want. I'll even do this for you. You don't even need to zip. Now you zip. So this is pollen. The silvery stuff is nectar.
Okay.
They're making that into honey. And we are queenless, I think. We have no queen in here. So we actually have a situation where you might even watch the rescue. Yep, no queen, no eggs, and larvae.
How can you spot so quickly there's no queen?
Because there's no evidence of a queen. In other words, there's no eggs in here, and a queen lays 2,000 eggs a day. So if I don't see any eggs, there's no queen. And if there is a queen, she isn't doing her job.
I was like, is it that easy to spot it visually?
It is once you know, but she could be on any of these frames. I'm just looking here in the middle where she ought to be laying eggs and not seeing any eggs. Yeah. So, what I also see here is an attempt to make a new queen. See that cell? This is called a queen cell. And they're trying to make a new queen because they realize they don't have one. So I killed that one because I don't want them to make their own queen, because I want queens that I make, because I control genetics through selective breeding, basically, just like flowers or dogs or whatever. You know, you choose your best to make your babies, right? And then the healthy ones. You know, this hive is already under stress. I don't want a queen that was made under stress to replace this hive, right? So what we're going to do, and just because we found this, it's just going to incorporate a lot of different things.
I just walk with you?
Yeah, you just follow me around. I'll be going back and forth.
Okay.
So, remember I told you those are my production hives over there, right?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? This is all resource hives. These are my extras. These are bees I have in case things like that happen over there. You know what I mean? So, I've already realized I'm losing a queen. So I'm going to take one of these, coming back to you, colonies that I'm essentially growing as backups and put her in there into my production hive. You get something in there?
No.
Oh, you just put your hat on?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I keep notes on here. Last time I saw a queen, if I'd marked them, different things like that. So these are just my notes on the inspection of them. And I think this was a pretty, let me think about this, which one I want to use. Yeah, this is a pretty good one. Okay. Let me think. No, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a 5-framer. This one over here is exploding. And it's actually getting so big, I was actually worried about it getting too big. So now, it is a good candidate to replace, you know, a nice strong one is a good candidate to replace your weak one, right?
Yeah.
So, my smoker, so I can't say anything at once. I'm just going to get to record everything. So, this hive says I saw a queen in here on the 11th of May, last week, and I had marked her green because she was born this year. So now I've taken 1, 2, 3, 6. I need to take one more frame out of here because I'm going to put all 5 of those in here. So that means I got to remove 5 from this one. Now I've got room. Now you're going to get to see what a healthy hive looks like.
What did I see?
A healthy hive. That one you saw didn't look very healthy, right? Because it was.
I can't tell the difference.
See the white wax? Brand new white wax.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Freshly collected pollen, all brand new white wax. Because they're growing out this year. Queen is not on this frame. I'm going to try to find the queen first, just so I can show you the queen. She's usually in the middle. See how that brood, see how this is capped? All those cells are capped? Those are young bees that are inside the cells that have not hatched yet. Interesting. And then all that yellow is pollen they collected. And this is honey up here. It's ready to stick its finger right there. Pull it out. There you go. Now you gotta lick it. Stick it. There you go.
Wow.
Right in the hive.
That thing is sweet. That was back to fun.
Lots more babies. See all that capped brood? That's what this other one didn't have in it. There's all this young getting ready to hatch. Now, if you look right here, you see the tiny little larvae? They look like little grubs.
Okay.
Can you see them in these cells?
Yep.
That's the young that just hatched their eggs. A few weeks later, they will cover them, and they go through essentially their larval cycle. It's like every insect goes from an egg to a larva to a pupa to an insect. That's essentially, you learned that in elementary school.
That's the cycle.
Yep. So I'm looking for the queen, primarily because when you replace a beehive, the one thing you want to make sure is you got your queen in there, right? Because if I just yanked these and threw them in there, I could guess I got the queen in there.
Okay.
But I want to make sure I get the queen in there, so I'm finding her.
So now you're visually trying to spot her.
Yep.
So
can you see how these cells are just a little darker on top?
Yeah.
It's because they're hatching today. I'm going to show you. See how these they're actually chewing themselves out right now. These are bees being born. See that?
Oh, I see that's moving. It's trying to come out.
Right its way out, just like a butterfly coming out of a cocoon.
That's crazy.
That's a bee being born today. And look at it coming out. You see it?
Yeah.
It's going to come out, and you're going to see it just looks fuzzy and new. She's almost out. Oh, a little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more.
I'm looking here, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Almost like a baby with a placenta on it, right? Little white, little
So there's
fuzzy.
Already a baby next to it. That's a little young one. Or maybe not a baby.
The one coming out, that's an adult that's cleaning up after her.
No, this one right here.
Yeah, that's the one being born.
Okay.
Coming out of the cell. See, she's struggling to get her thorax and abdomen out.
Oh, that is the one that's coming out.
Yeah, she's coming out. And happy birthday.
Oh, sick. That is crazy.
Yep, there you go. Worker bee being born. And this is happening all over this frame. If you see these tiny, they're just starting to chew their way out. So this is a frame of hatching brood. So this is instantly adding population to the colony because these bees are ready to be born. Where those larvae I showed you just a second ago, they got another couple weeks to go to grow up.
Okay.
You understand? So
yeah. So I'll just keep listening.
Good. Now, this has got eggs in it. So we're looking for the queen. Hadn't seen her yet, so either I missed her or she's in the bottom of the box. Oh, there she is.
Oh, you see it?
Can you see a big green dot?
Yes.
That's her.
Whoa.
Yep, that's the queen.
Wow. It's like this was natural? Like all these bees have green dots?
No, I painted her. That's me. No, she did. That's not natural. So I took, see, I carry this marker around with me.
You painted a bee?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I'll show you. So the way you do, I'll remark her. So you can grab her legs.
Okay.
And I'm right-handed, so I got to grab her legs again.
You can't think what if you break?
I know how to hold a queen.
Oh.
So I'm holding, see how I'm not squeezing her? Don't want to squeeze her.
I'm sure you do.
I don't want to squeeze her abdomen because she's a mated queen. So essentially this is an enamel marker. And I just make sure it's flowing. And right there on her thorax, it holds ink nicely. That's
That is sick.
So now, this is the lady that's going to lay 2,000 eggs a day in this new hive that we're getting ready to put her in, right?
Oh, okay.
So, because I want to be rough and I don't want to squish her, I'm going to put her in this cage. This is called a queen cage. Those holes, she can't squeeze through.
Interesting.
So she is now kind of captured. So I set her aside so I don't actually.
So you don't have to worry about.
Right, I don't have to bump her or anything like that.
Did you come up with that, or that's like just you can buy them?
The rubber band trick is my trick. Because see, I've bumped these things before and then they crawl out. Where this is like it always squeezes to keep it closed.
I see.
Yeah. All right, so now I can go quickly, right? Because I don't really care about finding the queen necessarily because I know where she is.
Okay.
And I know she's going to end up in here. This is a thermometer and a hive.
And you only have one queen?
Per hive.
Per hive.
They can make a new one if they need to.
Okay.
There can be 2 queens temporarily if a hive is starting to split, but generally there's only one.
And do you care to know if there are additional queens out there or not?
Well, I make queens.
Right, but the ones that they make, the ones that...
So if I saw queen cells on here, just like we saw in that other one, I'd cut them out.
Okay, but if you can, I'm guessing that probably can happen.
Oh, yeah.
It must have happened.
Well, see, when a hive gets really, really overpopulated, that's their natural tendency is to say, hey, we need to make a new queen. Half of us need to leave. The other half are going to stay with the new queen. That's called swarming.
That's exactly what they do?
Yep. That's what we do. I actually posted a video on YouTube and X about that today.
Oh, you guys done?
Yeah.
So, should I be careful?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, remember I told you I was going to go faster and be a little rough? So when you get a stinger in, you don't want to pinch it, you want to scrape it. Because if you pinch it, you squeeze the venom sac and put more venom in you.
Oh. So you're like kind of wedging it out. Kind of
yeah, you just kind of scrape it like with a credit card kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to rush this and look, see, they got the queen in here.
Yeah.
She's there.
Yep.
She's going in.
Okay.
She's in here. Not necessarily going to need this. Just put the tie back together because I got her in there. And you can run into the barn shed for a few minutes just to see if the angle stops. What I'm going to do with these bees, put them in this box and back where that other box was, and hopefully put a new queen in here. But I don't have a queen at the moment, so this is just going to be temporarily queenless.
Okay.
Let's see, the other 2. So this one needs eggs. Well, I guess it's not enough. You okay hanging out in the drizzle? Yeah?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, so now
taking it all.
that hive is back to health because I got 5 frames of bees, baby bees being hatched, and a laying queen. So that one should start accelerating.
Okay.
Now I got a box over here with some bees that got no mama anymore.
Okay.
Right? So this hive needs a queen or needs the ability of making a queen if I don't have one.
Okay.
So since I don't have a queen today, and I believe it was this hive was getting overpopulated, what I can do is take an overpopulated hive
Mm-hmm.
and
then-
take one frame of eggs out of here. Because see, this one's about to explode. See, there's so much honey in here. There's so much, there's like running out of room in this little box. I could give them a bigger box, or I could take some bees out of here and let them continue to expand it. So see, I put this frame in here the other day, and they built out all of that just like in a few days. All of this new wax. No queen on there.
So the wax, so the honey is held in the same area where they're also born?
Yep. They collect food and raise young all in the same.
Is that what's happening?
Yep. This is honey. Oh, look, queen cells. See that?
That's
I told you this hive was so strong that they might move out. And remember I told you if they're going to move out, the first thing they do is start raising queens?
Oh.
So this is evidence, and they're already capped, so those queen cells have been there. So this is actually a really good find. Look at more queen cells. So remember I told you I needed a queen for there?
Yeah.
Guess what? These are getting ready to hatch in the next few days.
Sure.
So I just need to make sure before I put that in there that the queen isn't on here. So I'm just going to set this aside. So that was a lucky find because now I got ready-made queens almost in a day or so.
So they're just going to chill here right now, like?
Yeah.
So why are they like chilling here right now?
Because they got brood on there that they're keeping warm. Their job is to keep those babies warm.
Oh, okay, that's why they're here.
Yep. There's mama. There's mama.
And so the bees, like, they know how to return to its own specific queen when there are multiple queens around?
They do. Well, they don't know the queen so much as the hive where the queen smell is. So
Okay, that's the
they
key.
do smells, remember?
They are just tracking the smell, basically.
Yeah. So they kind of learn navigation to this one, but they oriented to this one because of the queen that they knew was in here. So it's kind of like once you learn how to drive home, you really don't think about directions anymore.
Okay.
Same sort of thing.
Okay.
Looking for the queen. She could be on these frames. I don't like to set frames down that could have a queen on them because she could fall. Well, you saw that video where you drop a frame or. So she could still be on that frame, or she could be in here. See all the bees in there? Stick that camera in there. Maybe the light will be good.
That's kind of cool. I like the poking too.
I'm going to send this whole footage to you, actually.
See that? I just kind of shook them
Unedited
down.
footage.
Looking.
What, this movement, is this just gravity? They're just
Yeah,
kind
it's
of sliding
just a
down?
ball of bees, yep. So the fact there's queen cells, and I haven't found a queen, could mean that they already swarmed and the old queen left. There's a chance that that is the case. If I can't find her anywhere in here, those queen cells,
And you're looking for your mark.
I'm looking for a bee with the mark on her.
Right.
Yeah, that I know was in here.
Oh, because you saw it.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
So, did this hive swarm? Another thing, just look up. Is there any bees in the tree? Let me check this frame again.
Okay. So it has a couple of
Queen cells, yep. This is the one I was going to put into that other hive after I found the queen. But if I haven't found the queen,
Mm-hmm.
I might need to assume that these queen cells need to stay with that hive so that they can make a new
hatch.
queen that, like they were planning on doing. Let's see here.
So just like a gentle tap to kind of make
Yeah,
them
just kind of move
spread
them
it
around
out.
so I can see if they're covering her up at all.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't see her here. Well, I was all excited about those queen cells, but they are a product of me not getting here last week, I guess, to do this. I guess I'm just missing her. Well, I'm not going to take queen cells from a hive without a queen, because that would lead them in a bad spot, and that is not what their master plan was. Okay, so these bees are going back in. I think they swim. Okay.
So obviously, like during handling and stuff, some of the bees they die, and that's just the way of like nature. It's the way of
Yeah,
life.
it's just like stepping on ants. It's another
Okay.
game.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously, but you got to protect the queen, but the workers are replaceable.
Some of them are. Yeah.
Okay,
Just
so
like we are.
now, because 5, 18 Q cells swarm. Yeah. Grease pencil stays on there, but it is actually wet. It doesn't right now.
Like
Q cells. Okay.
Yeah.
So, from your perspective, looking out there, which of these looks strongest? Who's got the most hanging out or going in and out?
Well, the ones to me that way is the very first one.
Which is the one we just did, obviously.
Yeah.
So next one.
Next is the one right next to it.
Okay. So we'll use that one as our next candidate then.
That is the one next to it.
Mm-hmm.
Very obviously.
Okay. Another very strong one though. See how nice, good looking. White wax. Lots of bees.
So when you see excessive wax, it's basically
White
like
wax just
overcrowding.
means white wax. It just means it's new. They've been. Oh, look at that brood. Okay, so this is just a lot of baby bees, right? This is another great looking frame. And on this side, it's got eggs. It's got every stage of the insect's larval, pupa, insect stage in here. So this is a great one to give to another hive that needs bees and needs eggs to make a queen from. So this might be a candidate if I find the queen to put into that other hive. But just like the last one, I don't want to take their eggs if they don't have a queen. Another good brood frame. So this hive will continue to grow. No queen there. Lots of eggs. Flame getting ready to explode. And there's a queen. Okay, so it's here.
Uh-huh. Nice.
Another green dot. Nice yellow thorax. That other one had a little bit of a black tip on her. This one got a little bit more Italian honeybee genetics in her. A little bit yellow.
Okay, that's the characteristic.
The mark means she was born this year. So, unlike the last one, I can leave this one in here, right? Because they have a queen. So now I can take resources away from them.
Okay.
I can choose that one or this one, but just because of, you know, the way they're laid out. I think this one has got mostly older brood and no eggs. To make a queen, bees need eggs.
Okay.
Which is what this one has on it. So, I'm taking this one, and if you look with the sun behind you, look straight in those cells, you can see tiny little things that look like tiny little rice grains.
Yeah.
Those are eggs.
Okay.
They hatch from that and
White.
turned into those little grubs that I showed you a few minutes ago.
They're like circular.
Yep.
Okay. Like a grain that was. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So now, this is going to go right in the middle. And one of these frames, you can see this one, I'm going to give to this healthy hive to let that queen keep laying and growing it out. So what we did is we took resources away from this nice strong hive, found the queen, so we know she's still in here, gave them eggs to try to make a queen because I don't have any leftover queens right now. And I'm going to say 518. Remove one frame. Just so I know that I took some resources away. If that one starts looking sick or weak, maybe I know I took away too much resources from it.
Okay. Okay.
All right. How are we doing on time?
I actually no idea. I'm like, this is so cool.
Probably
I got about 20, 25 minutes.
Good.
30 minutes, I can probably max.
Yeah.
Basically.
All right. So, quite a good little lesson there. Use that very strongly. Save that hive. Because this box is here, a lot of the bees that I took over there, guess where they're going to come home?
Right here.
Right here. There's going to be a portion that stay over there to raise those baby bees.
Yeah.
But the adults of that colony that are going out to get honey,
Yeah.
they're going to go out and back here because that's what they know. They don't learn how to switch houses that easily.
Oh, interesting.
So, the benefit of that is this hive is going to get stronger with all those forage bees returning over here.
Yeah.
So they got to make a queen. They need a lot more resources and bees to do that.
Yeah.
So leaving this box in this location
Yeah.
gives the benefit of the returning bees coming back here to help make that new queen.
Makes sense.
Make sense?
Yep.
All right, let me show you one other style of hive, and then I have one other thing inside to show you. So this is called a long langstraw. Same philosophy of raising bees in a box, but instead of going vertically, I go horizontally. Right? It's like these bees can't go up. So I either have to go, and right now they're almost full up, so I either got to take resources out, let them swarm, or give them more, take some of these out to go add to weak hives, and then give them empty frames to work on. So
okay. So why are they? Oh, is it just like a bigger version of?
It's just
like that?
This one is like older people like them because they don't have any heavy lifting. It's about waist height. I just built one of these in the wood shop and said, hey, I'm going to play with the long langstraw in the backyard too.
Oh, okay.
So just a wood shopping project. And then,
yeah.
Okay, so see, they still got a lot of work to do to draw this out. But what I think I'm going to do, because this one's looking pretty strong, if I find the queen and a lot of brood in here, I'm probably going to weaken this one.
So all these eggs are
So this, did you notice how these look different?
yeah.
They're fatter, right? They're thicker.
Yeah.
Because those are drones. That's the male bees. And they only grow them this time of year for mating with other hives. So this is a spring phenomena. This is worker brood. This is drone brood. Because drones are bigger. And a drone, this is a drone.
And why'd you call him a drone?
Put him in your hand. There's no stinger. He's a male bee.
Oh, he cannot sting you.
No, they don't have stingers. Drones do not have stingers. They're the best bees to hand to kids.
Whoa,
now, he looks like a carpenter bee.
In the hand, it's like a little
fuzzy.
Yeah.
Fuzzy climbing around.
Yeah. Like I have, like almost every other insect I'm dope with, it's like roaches. I have a major phobia.
Yeah.
And it's like, come back here.
So this hive is looking like it's got lots of brood, so it's healthy. So now I'm just scanning for the queen again, because if I want to take some resources away from this hive, I want to make sure I don't take mama. Ooh, lots of brood. So what'll happen if I don't reduce this hive, there she is. She's red. See, she's last year's queen.
Change the colors.
Last year was red, this year's green. And there actually is a color code that all beekeepers use, so I didn't make that up. It's just it's the color we use in the industry. That's like I'm saying in the industry. So now the queen is gone. This
so when you got a bunch of them, so others would.
Since I know that one is now a little too strong and is going to swarm, I'm going to go ahead and now remember there's no queen in here, right? Right, because this is the one I put the eggs in.
Okay.
Right, there's no queen because I took the queen down there.
Right.
So these are just frames with no eggs that need to be so I can take this down here, and these guys will keep working on this, and I'll get some frames like this with lots of babies hatching and add them to here. So in the next few days, this guy's going to explode with bees to help make that queen. Follow my logic? I'm adding resources of bees.
Okay.
And weakening a hive that is already arguably too strong.
I see. So you're balancing it out, kind of.
Yep. This is called equalizing. Kind of Robin Hood. Take from the weak, give them the poor kind of thing. You know? 2 out of there. Now,
And when you said you said they're the drones, why are they called drones?
That's what you call male insects, drones.
I mean, are they like trying to they're like scouts or something in some ways?
Their only job in the hive is to leave, mate with a queen from another hive, and then they're done. They die. They get to have sex once in their life.
Wow.
That's the only function of a drone bee. So that's actually one of the jokes I like to tell my lady friends. Like, I'm a beekeeper. I know a little bit about bees. And after 37 million years of evolution, these ladies have figured out men only have one good use. And they only get to do it once. So,
that is
all
true.
you boys and girls out there,
that is,
be nice to your moms and sisters.
I hear you. That's what I feel. It's like funny you say that. It's like I think women, if there was such thing as a superior species, I think it's the women. It's not us.
No.
We are replaceable more easily. That's right.
But in a beehive, they only grow them this time of year. And if there's still drones come August, they will kick them out and starve them, only to save the resources for the brood and the queen and everyone else that's more important to them in this hive. So they only raise drones this time of year. What I'm doing is putting it back with the frames over there that didn't have a lot of babies in it, right?
Yeah.
So now this queen, who has been working her butt off to fill up all these frames, has got 3 more frames of open without any eggs in it that she can go fill up. And I took all those bees over there.
Okay.
So I sort of gave her more free room to work.
Okay.
And I gave these add 4 brood. So that note's done.
Okay.
This is going back in. Mama's already in. You saw me do that. Close them up.
What was that? Is that wedging something?
This is a trap I use to catch beetles that are a pest. You can see there's some beetles in here. It's a beetle trap, essentially.
Interesting.
So
they can come and infiltrate, and
yeah, they're kind of like scavengers, and they can take over a weak hive, not a strong hive like this, but I generally try to keep them at bay. All right. Last, let's go to the observation hive.
The what? Observation?
Yeah. So this over here is the entrance to another beehive, but one that I have inside that we can look at. So this is the observation hive entrance.
Okay.
They come and go this way, and they go to a PVC pipe. These are all of the reservoirs for my aquaponics system, for my tilapia aquaponics one. To see all of these gardens, they have rocks in them. There's no dirt. So this is an aquaponic garden.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah. All right, come on in here.
Wait. Wait a second. These plants grow on no soil?
No soil, just in the rocks, but there's running water, and water rises and falls. See the water coming out?
Yeah.
It's got a rise, and it's called a flood and drain system. It rises up, and every 15 minutes it drains with gravity suction draining. So there's no pumps other than pumping the water in here.
Wow.
But the water comes from the tilapia. So these tilapia urinate ammonia, NH4.
Okay.
The NH4, just like any aquarium you might have learned as kids, you can poison your fish if you don't change their water, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't have to change this water because it gets pumped out and goes into those rocks.
Okay.
And there's 2 bacteria growing on those rocks. One is called Nitrobacterius and one's called Nitrobacter. I might have messed those up a little bit, but there's 2 different bacteria.
Okay.
The first bacteria takes NH4, ammonia, and turns it to NH3, which is nitrate. And then the second bacteria takes NO3 and turns it to NO2, which is nitrite.
Okay.
And if I got those backwards, I'm sorry.
Sure.
That's what plants can eat. They need both of those 2 H's removed to turn ammonia, which is not healthy to plants, into nitrogen-rich nitrite that makes them look like that. So the bacteria clean the water. I never have to clean this tank, and you get pure nitrogen, and the bacteria get 2 hydrogens pulled off of it and turn it into nitrite.
This is beyond sick.
Okay? That's what the aquaponics cycle does. it takes fish or some other animal producing urine, and I can pee in that barrel just like these fish do, and it does the same thing. Our urine has ammonia in it too.
Okay.
But you got to get it down to NO2 nitrite in order for the plants to be able to use it, and that's what those rocks do. They're porous substances that hold those bacteria, different than soil. And I flood and drain, and those bacteria just chomping all day long, and those hydrogen atoms to turn that ammonia into plant food. So that's what the aquaponics are about.
Oh, wait a second. I gotta check out your shop. This I can connect with way better. Okay, you got a planer.
Okay.
You got a planer. Okay,
I got my enclosure in my Prusa.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, that's your baby right there.
Yeah.
Oh, you got fancy bandsaw. I don't have that heavy duty one. I do have a nice drill press.
Yep. Lots of 3D printed gear for my bees and stuff like that, and I have a bright light for different systems, and this is all part of my queen rearing. I was telling you, raising queens. This is how I raise queens in these cells here. You basically, anyway, it's kind of hard to explain it without showing you the whole process, but this is all part of that queen rearing process I was telling you about out there. I got some wax in my pocket.
Okay, I need this is overload right now. You got it on
video. You can watch it over and over.
I gotta segment it out. No. It's like my questions won't stop because I'm like taking it in.
So now, before you have to go, this is the observation. So that entrance we talked about, I built this so you can just kind of watch bees up close and personal, and just kind of you sit here and watch them like you're inside instead of having to rush or worry about your foot or things like that. And it's a pivot on here, so it's 2 frames, 3 high, so there's 6 frames in here.
Okay.
The entrance is here, goes down here and out there. See it?
Yeah.
So it's a pivot point and then a structural point, just like I showed you out in the field. The white pearly is larva, capped is brood that they're getting ready to hatch, and they're storing honey up top. That's generally how they do it in a tree, and that's how they do it in a hive, not given any instruction.
Interesting. Okay.
Sometimes, earlier today I made a video on this one, and I found the queen, and you really get to watch a queen lay an egg in this environment, unlike when you find her out there, she's running from you, right? If I can find her in here, she might actually be laying eggs, and you get to see the whole process. But
she's got a dot?
She does not have a dot because she is hatched since I've opened this up, and I haven't had a chance to mark her because obviously this one takes a little bit. I got to take it outside, I got to take the glass off, and then I got to grab her. So I do this a little less frequently.
So you just kind of spot for like something like bigger?
Oh, you'd see her. I mean, at least I would recognize her really quick. And because there's 2 frames, there's a chance she's in this middle section.
Okay, so it might be.
She might be out of sight. But this observation hive, like all observation hives, are designed for letting you watch the bees in their natural environment without disturbing them, and you just kind of learn what they're doing. And you may never have heard of the waggle dance, but bees communicate with a dance. And if you watch, some of them are in here doing the dance. Let me find them. See this little bee right here? See her waggling?
Yeah.
She's advertising food and resources. And these bees around her are looking at her going, where is she saying this food is? This may not be the best example because she's doing a pretty tight dance, which means the food is very, very close. Oh. But let me give an example of, say, the food was like 800 meters away.
Okay.
What she would do is she would waggle and do a half circle. Waggle, do a half circle. The length of that vertical waggle is the distance the bees need to go. The direction she waggles on this comb is the direction in reference to the azimuth of the sun. So if she was wagging vertically straight up, and she's waggling, we'll just say something that represented a distance of 800 meters, these bees are watching and taking that direction. They go out, look for the sun, go straight towards the sun 800 meters. And then they look around just like a bee does to look for the food source that this bee was advertising. If that bee was doing a waggle horizontal, they'd go out the hive, they'd look at the sun, they'd go 90 degrees to the right and go that way 800 meters. So I've got this map printed with my house so I can sit here and watch the waggle dances, and I can try to figure out where the food sources are that they're using.
The bee is actually intelligently training the others.
They're communicating food sources and or living quarters, but let's just talk about food for now because that's how they advertise direction, is with what is called the waggle dance. It's very well documented.
That's what's happening. This is how far you got to go. They have a reference point.
They reference the azimuth of the sun for direction, the length of the is for the distance, and the veracity of the dance is the quality. Like,
Okay.
if she's waggling that butt so much, it's almost falling off, they're all paying attention going, oh man, she found something good. Whereas if she's just doing a lazy dance, she might get the attention of 2 or 3 that says, yeah, let's wait on somebody else that found something better. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
But if now that you know that you're looking for that waggling here, there's a whole lot of it going on.
Is it? Okay.
In certain times.
I see this one a little bit. No.
A little bit of waggling here.
Oh, that? Okay, I see.
A little waggling. Yep. A little bit of waggling.
And these are still the worker bees, right?
Everything's a worker in here except for the queen and the drones. You saw how big a drone is.
Yep.
Everything else is a worker, except for the one queen in here.
So there's 3 classes.
3 casts is what they're called. C-A-S-T-E-S, casts.
Oh, not dead.
Mm-hmm.
Casts. Okay.
So I'm not seeing the queen. I don't know where she is, so I can't really show her laying eggs out here. But I spend a lot of time out here. It's a very good teaching tool. I make a lot of videos about it because you really can observe the bees and their natural behavior and talk about the waggle dance. You can talk about what the brood looks like, what the worker brood looks like, what nectar looks like, what honey looks like.
I'm not sure how this is going to come out.
It depends on the focal length, right? Yeah, and how much you can zoom in and zoom out.
Because the clarity goes quickly in indoors, low light.
Yeah.
360.
I had to add a little bit of light. This light angle isn't great. I played with the angle to where glare doesn't come right back to the camera, but I put it up high.
Okay. What is that? What is that chip?
So that is my temperature humidity sensor that I measure temperature and humidity over Bluetooth with. So they keep this hive at 94 degrees, and that is a monitor, so I can track it on the internet, track it on the web, and all my hives have those sensors in them, so I can measure their data.
Awesome.